I love driving through Vegas. All the lights around me, so pretty. Actually, I'm not really driving. This is the ZEISS CinCraft Scenario camera tracking system.
You're watching CineD, supported by B&H and CVP.
Welcome here from NAB 2026. I'm with Nick from ZEISS here at the B&H booth. And before we start, an apology for the background noise. There's a presentation going on, but we try our best to actually make this happen because it has to happen now. Hey, Nick, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great, Nino. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So you're one of the experts on the CinCraft Scenario camera tracking software from ZEISS. We've reported quite a bit about it, but it's the first time we can actually demonstrate it or show it on a video. So just walk us through what it is and why did ZEISS get into this?
Yeah, definitely. So CinCraft Scenario is a real-time, very flexible camera tracking solution. And ZEISS actually acquired a company called NCAM that's been around in this industry for a while. And this system is by far the easiest to set up, easiest to operate. And one of the unique pieces to Scenario is that it can track natural features within the environment. That means we do not require markers for tracking. And that's what we're showing here at the B&H booth. If you look up, you'll notice there are no markers in the ceiling. We're actually tracking off of contrast points among the different set pieces within the environment. It allows us not only to be very flexible, but very stable. We can move the system around whenever we want to. So yeah, it's a really cool system, especially for situations like this.
So if I had no clue about camera tracking, how does it work and why? You mentioned that you don't need the actual tracker points.
Yeah.
But just give me an example of something I could use that for.
Yeah, so we our bread and butter is virtual production, live VFX on set. We also can be used outdoors as well because we don't require the need for markers. So we can be used for live events, live sports, you name it. I mean, it's not really a situation that we find ourselves in that we cannot track. One other nice thing about our system is that because we are ZEISS, of course, means that we take lenses very seriously, and we want to be sure that our system not only can understand ZEISS lenses, but also read third-party lenses as well. So we've implemented lens templates within Scenario that offer over 100, even now 200 third-party lenses that are pre-templated. That means that you don't have to do any calibration yourself. You can simply choose the ZEISS lens or the third-party lens that you want to use with the system, and you're virtually done. There's very little to no calibration required.
And the communication from the lens to the system works through the Cook SI?
Yeah, correct. So if you're using a ZEISS lens or modern day ZEISS lens, you can take advantage of the /I, or in our case, the XD data coming from the lens. Otherwise, we have a variety of different lens encoders that you can take lens information from. So you could plug the system into an ARRI Hi5 system. You could go into Teradex RT, a variety of different other encoders for broadcast lenses. So yeah, depending on what system that you're using, we remain agnostic to both lenses and cameras.
And what are you demonstrating behind us so we can show that?
Yeah, so we have, of course, CinCraft Scenario mounted on, I believe it's an Alexa 35 or Alexa Mini. I'm not entirely sure, sorry. But yeah, we have a scenario system on an ARRI camera doing a car process demo. So this is a really nice way to show that our system can be used for car process work, which most cases happens inside of a studio environment with an LED wall. There's a lot of dynamic lighting going on. And again, it shows our ability to be flexible where you can be outside of the car. We can even go inside the car if needed. So typically with car process work, you need to be very flexible, very fast, quick camera changes, lots of different lenses may be used. You have a lot of lighting changes, and our system performs extremely well in those environments.
You mentioned the deep integration with the lenses, but in general, where do you think is the best, like where does ZEISS come into the whole camera tracking thing? Why is this so important? I mean, of course, we're kind of moving into a world where software becomes more and more important on top of hardware. But where's the, what is the USP of the connection between the lens company now owning a camera tracking technology like CinCraft Scenario?
Yeah, that's a great question. ZEISS has really cemented themselves as a leader in optics. That's what we're known for, but recently, as an organization, as a company, we've found that we need to be more involved in the digital space, especially within cinema industry and broadcast and really in live entertainment as a whole. So we actually have a few new tools that are specifically designed for visual effects users, for post production. So ZEISS recognized that camera tracking is a major component to that. So that was one of the main reasons why they acquired the company NCAM, is to integrate a camera tracking platform, but also they're pushing a lot of emphasis again into visual effects. And we actually have a brand new software that's designed for Nuke called LensCore, and I'm actually going to be presenting on that a little bit later today. But you can find a lot more about LensCore on our website. It's a really cool plugin for Nuke that mimics the physical characteristics of a lens in post and allows you to make all sorts of different changes. So ZEISS is really putting a lot of investment and time and energy into post-production visual effects software, and I think you're going to see more tools, more from ZEISS in that way, down the road.
Cool. And if I'm interested in acquiring a CinCraft Scenario system, what am I looking at in terms of price?
So CinCraft Scenario is one part hardware, one part software, and we definitely have a professional solution that can be used on any high-profile film, TV show, or broadcast stage. But we price it in a way that is accommodated for more mid-tier or even semi-consumer-based systems where you might need to see a simple camera tracking system for like a YouTube type of stage as well. So the hardware itself in US dollars is around $16,000 for a full package. That will get you everything that you need to shoot. And then the software is subscription based, so you can license that out in short-term, daily, weekly, or even monthly licenses. Or if you're using the system every single day, you can buy a perpetual license that allows you to basically own the hardware and software outright.
Cool. And what are we looking at price-wise for the software?
So daily, short-term, daily, weekly, monthly, you're looking at anywhere between $300 to $1,000, depending on how long. Yeah. So it's very digestible for short-term projects, weekend projects. If you're looking to own the software outright, the best way to kind of think about that is if you go hardware and software all in, right around $40,000. And then we do have a service and maintenance plan that's built in, so you can have access to the firmware and service and maintenance agreements over the course of a year. So you can add that on for around $3,000 after that. But yeah, so $40,000 for that perpetual plan. Another great plan that we recommend is our yearly plan. So for customers who want to kind of bill out the software, in more annual chunks. Hardware plus software for years, about $27,000 US.
Cool. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a good rest of the show.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for demonstrating, and thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned to CineD for a lot more from NAB 2026, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.